Animatronics. Sometimes they're creepy looking, other times they're adorable, and most of the time they're mistaken for robots. Animatronic friends have been around for centuries now. Yes, centuries. And they have been providing top-notch entertainment throughout the years. In today's video, we're going to take a small look at the history of our animatronic friends, covering a few well-known animatronics as well as a few that are more obscure. My name is Alan, welcome to Facetious Intent. Thank you for clicking on the video, so let's jump right in. Okay, I couldn't help myself. I just had to get a jump scare in for this video, seeing as well, animatronics have a knack for being creepy and whatnot. And honestly, yes, there are some that are ultra creepy. Cue up I Feel Fantastic. And let's not forget about the phenomenon of Five Nights at Freddy's, a video game based on terrifying animatronics. But hey, let's start off with the first ever animatronic before we get into the creepy territory of things. So up on the screen, you'll see the Droutman Rider, one of the first animatronics ever built. And just at a quick glance, you'll see that the contraption resembles a person, or more closely a child. A terrifying child, but hey, this is just one of the four aspects of what makes up an animatronic. Not that it resembles a hideous child, but a machine that is designed to look, mimic the movements and actions of a living creature. Real or imaginary, both are okay. So the Droutman Rider was created by Swiss clockmaker Henry Maillardet. Maillardet has a few mechanical figures up his sleeve, but his most famous creation was the aforementioned Droutman Rider. It is believed that Maillardet built it in the year of 1800. The Droutman Rider was capable of drawing 4 different pictures and could write 3 poems not only in English, but in French too. Here we are getting to the second aspect of what makes an animatronic. To achieve its movements, it must be powered by some sort of mechanical, electrical, or hydraulic system. Powered by a hand crank mechanism, the machine used a series of gears and levers to create the movements needed to draw and write. Just look at it go. What a remarkable feat. Let's give Henry Maillardet a round of applause. Maillardet lived until 1830, and although the Droutman Rider gained lots of fame, the contraption fell into obscurity, lost for many decades until it was rediscovered in the 20th century. Today you can visit the Droutman Rider in a fully refurbished state at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia. So let's move forward to the year of 1939. Well, I know there's probably a lot of other animatronics built between those years, but I'm just going to stick with this list that I got from Wikipedia. But yeah, let's move forward to the year of 1939 at the New York World's Fair. A new animatronic was on display, and it was unlike other robots and animatronics at the time. His name? Sparko, the robot dog. Unlike other robots and animatronics, this was the first to be depicted as an animal. It's a dog, you see, and this little guy even does tricks from voice commands just like a real dog. Well, I guess a well-trained dog. But yes, Sparko was featured alongside his owner, Electro, at the 1939 World's Fair. When I was researching info on Sparko, a few articles credited Don Lee Hadley as Sparko's creator, and a few others credited Joseph Barney Barnett. One article credited both guys as the creators, so let's just go with that. I mean, both guys did work for Westinghouse. Electro usually got all the attention. I mean, this guy was 7 feet tall, 300 pounds, and could smoke cigarettes. Sparko just stuck to the normal pet stuff, like he could sit up, bark, and smoke cigarettes. Nah, he didn't, but it would have been a lot more cooler if he did. If you're trying to identify which dog Sparko was modeled after, it's a Scottish Terrier. Don Lee Hadley's to be exact. You can still visit Electro in the Mansfield Memorial Museum in insert Ohio meme here. As for Sparko, no one knows where he's at. Straight up, they made the first animatronic dog and lost him years later. Okay, so our next big player in the history of animatronics is the small little known company of Disney. Of course Disney will be on this list. I mean, they are the kings of entertainment with all those incredible movies and theme parks. So with big theme parks, you usually get some animatronics, and that's where we get to our third animatronic aspect, and the one that mainly separates them from robots. That is that animatronics are mainly made for entertainment purposes. So keep that in mind, as well as knowing that they're different from robots, which robots are usually built to work, like, you know, the robots that they have at Amazon or Tesla facilities. So there's really no reason for robots supposed to look like a creature. They're just built for pure function. So the history of Disney's use of animatronics has so much information that it could be turned into its own video. But for now, let's just hit the key points. In 1949, during a family trip to Europe, our boy Walt Disney picked up a few wind-up toys and a mechanical toy bird that would sing. Walt was deeply interested in the mechanics of the toys and gathered a few of his Imagineers like Roger Broggie, Walthall Rogers, and Charles Crisodoro to work on a project. The project being to construct a 9-inch tall figure of a man that would dance. This was challenging for the team, and they decided to make a big fucking squid instead. The base squid was featured in 1954's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and being Disney's first ever official audio animatronic. What is an audio animatronic, and how does it differ from a normal animatronic? Audio animatronics can sit and stand but usually cannot walk. Their movements and sounds are pre-recorded and they do not respond to external stimuli, so they're kind of lazier animatronics. The term audio animatronics was filed as a trademark in 1964 and registered in 1967. But hey, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's bring it back to 1955. The Jungle Cruise attraction was the perfect place to feature Disney's audio animatronics. Initially, the parks team wanted to have actual living, breathing animals, but they determined it would be too difficult and too many variables would be involved. So the team that worked on the giant squid began designing the animatronic animals for the attraction. These first animatronics were not the best. They didn't have the realistic movements like the ones we have today. So yeah, lazier animatronics, you might say? No, I can't be too harsh on these animatronics. They served their purpose, and a few years after the Jungle Cruise attraction, Disney revealed the Enchanted Tiki Room. The animatronics in the Tiki Room were all different looking birds, but they all had improved systems that allowed even more detailed movements. The birds could sing, move their tongues, their chest would move as if they were breathing, and they could blink their eyes. Some of the original Tiki birds are still on display today, a pretty big improvement over the Jungle Cruise animatronics, and Disney's Imagineers were only able to increase their audio animatronic mechanisms over the years. Disney also made an Abraham Lincoln animatronic, being the first animatronic figure of a real person, and animatronic birds are the first animatronics to be featured in a major motion picture, that film being Mary Poppins. But that's enough of Disney. All of that can be for a whole other video on its own. But for now, let's get forward to the 1970s. 1977 to be exact, the first family restaurant to integrate food, arcade games, and animated entertainment was revealed on May 17th in San Jose, California. I'm gonna give you a second to guess the restaurant. Okay, second's over. If you guessed ChuckECheese, then you're only half right. The full name at the time was ChuckECheese Pizza Time Theater. So there's a lot for the history of ChuckECheese, and it could have its own video. Actually, I bet Company Man has already covered it. Let's take a quick look. Yep, there it is. So cool takeaways from the history of ChuckECheese is that the founder of Atari, Nolan Bushnell, was responsible for the idea. He was inspired by Disney's animatronics, and it wasn't until Atari has gained its success that he decided to go through with the idea. The restaurant had a stage where Chucky would perform along with his bandmates, like Krusty the Cat, who happens to be the first character who was retired from the show and replaced by Ice Spice's #1 fan, Mr. Munch, Pasquale the Singing Chef, Jasper T. Jowls, and the Warblettes. The performing animatronics were a huge hit. If you were a kid during the time ChuckECheese was offering the animatronic show, you know just how big of a deal it was. Kids would go ape shit. They were either filled with extreme joy or straight up fear. I mean, come on, those original designs were nightmare fuel. I would not blame if some 3-year-old kid was thinking that their life was about to come to an end. The ChuckECheese animatronics were built a bit more sophisticated than the ones we previously discussed. An 8-bit microprocessor called the MOSTEC 6502 was the driving force used to control the animatronics. The microprocessor was the least expensive one on the market at the time, and funny enough, was also used in a few Atari products. ChuckECheese has had a rocky road business-wise, I mean especially in 2020, and sadly as the years have gone by, ChuckECheese has gradually swapped out the animatronics with people in suits, televised screens, lighting effects, and interactive elements. Let's have a moment of silence for the old ChuckECheese. Okay, let's have a moment of silence for old childhood memories in general. Speedrun time, I guess? Yeah, Speedrun. Where's that Wikipedia list? In 1982, Benjamin Franklin is the first animatronic figure to walk up a set of stairs. It's just 3 awkward steps, apparently. In 1989, the first A100 animatronic portraying the Wicked Witch of the West is developed for the Great Movie Ride attraction at Disney MGM Studios. What is an A100 animatronic? Really, it's just a toolkit allowing engineers and builders to use the certain components they need to create the animatronic. So you could say lazy creation. Yo, Alan, I just wanted to say you can't call anything lazy when all you're doing is just a speed through straight from a Wikipedia list. I mean, I'm just saying. In 1998, Tiger Electronics started selling Furbies. In 1999, Jimmy Industries released their Big Mouth Billy Bass product, which included a motion sensor that would activate the fish to sing and dance. This is our fourth and final aspect, as sensors, sounds, or motion need to be present to activate the specific actions programmed into the animatronic. 2001 marked the largest animatronic ever, being Jurassic Park's Spinosaurus. Wait, what the f***? I forgot to mention the awesome animatronic work Stan Winston and his team did for not only Jurassic Park, but for the Terminator films as well. Let's go back in time. Come on, let's go. Yo, hey, Alan, you can't just reverse time. I mean, you'll create an alternate timeline or butterfly effect or probably some kind of paradox. I mean, man, come on, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to finish the video, bro. Speedrun time, I guess? Where's that Wikipedia list? In the 1980s and 1990s, animatronics became a staple of the film industry, with blockbuster movies like Jurassic Park and the Terminator films using animatronics to create realistic and terrifying creatures. We can thank Stan Winston and his team for creating these iconic animatronics. Stan Winston also has creations in many other films like the Wookiee costumes from the 1978 Star Wars special. Hey, I haven't seen it, but I heard it was terrible. He contributed some visual effects to Friday the 13th Part 3. Again, I haven't seen it, it's probably terrible. Edward Scissorhands, Predator, and Batman Returns. So yeah, Stan Winston and his team are basically the GOATs. When researching his animatronic work, you could tell that he definitely had a system for his creations. For both the dinos in Jurassic Park and the T-800, the process began with detailed concept drawings and scaled models. From the drawings and models, they would use clay, foam, and other materials to create full-scale sculptures of each creature. From the sculptures, they were able to create molds that would be used to cast various parts of the animatronics. These molds were made from various materials such as silicone and fiberglass. Those materials were crucial for skin and muscle detail. It required a team of puppeteers and animators to control hydraulic and pneumatic systems to make the creatures move with a high degree of precision. Oh, and of course, computers and other electronic devices were used as well. So yeah, the animatronics built by Mr. Winston and his team were groundbreaking for their time, which set a new standard for special effects in movies. Audiences, especially for Jurassic Park, were captivated and amazed by its lifelike creatures. These animatronics, definitely considered one of the greatest achievements in the history of special effects in movies. Stan Winston, you definitely deserve a round of applause. Okay, back to the speedrun. 2001, the Spinosaurus for Jurassic Park 3 was the largest animatronic ever built. In 2005, UK company Engineered Arts produced the first version of their animatronic actor, Robo-Thespian. In 2008, Mr. Potato Head at the Toy Story exhibit features lips with a crazy range of movements, more precise than any previous animatronic figure. In 2014, Scott Cawthon released Five Nights at Freddy's, and it became a huge hit within the video game community. The story of the in-game animatronics were continued with various sequels. In 2021, Disneyland revealed one of their most advanced animatronics at the Avengers compound. Yeah, this one is probably my favorite one. This Spider-Man has a complex system of sensors that helps it complete the amazing aerial stunts. Disney calls this newer type of animatronic a stunt-tronic, and Disney is definitely stunting on our bitch asses with this one, because I mean, when I first saw footage of this, I seriously thought it was a person in costume. So with this new technology, there's no need for stunt people, and that means no stunt people put at risk. Pretty cool. Animatronics have come a long way since their early beginnings, and they continue to be a vital technology in the world of entertainment. What I covered today was just a tiny bit of information, and I'm sure you can think of a lot of different classic animatronics. For now, I'll leave y'all at that. Oh, wait, so you thought I forgot. How do we get to a point of animatronics having such a creepy reputation? Well, the answer is pretty simple. I mean, just look at the things. Come on. Humans just love making everything creepy. And nothing is safe from having a horror twist to it, and Hollywood loves to take advantage. I mean, just look at what they did to my boy Winnie the Pooh. And when you have things that look so uncanny, I mean, the rest just writes itself. Life, finds a way, and so does the horror fetishization of everything, apparently. If you enjoyed this video, why don't you give it a like and comment down below. If you subscribe, comment, and like, you'll be entered for a chance to win either eBay or Amazon gift card, winner's choice. Further details will be in the description below. I'm Alan, this was Facetious Intent. Thanks for making it all the way to the end, and I'll catch y'all on the flippity flip.